and welcome back to the Mad Science Lab. Today, Jeremy the boys and I, we're blowing up some balloons. And that got me thinking, we breathe in oxygen, then what do we breathe out? Is it also oxygen? Great question. Actually, I've heard of something called CO2. You may have heard the word CO2 before, but what exactly does it stand for? A car and two oranges? Maybe a car, an orange, and two of something else? Well, today we're going to explore this CO2 and we're going to figure out what CO2 is, the different properties of CO2, how CO2 is produced, the importance of CO2 in our everyday lives, and something that you might have seen in your everyday life that's made up of CO2. I'll give you a hint. It starts with dry and ends with ice. But before we can get to all that fun stuff, let's figure out what is CO2. Well, CO2 stands for carbon dioxide. It's a molecule made from one carbon and two oxygen atoms. People and animals release carbon dioxide when they breathe out. So, while we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide, or CO2. Plants do the opposite. They breathe in carbon dioxide and they breathe out oxygen in a process that we call photosynthesis. So, to get a better idea of what exactly this tiny molecule looks like, let's make our very own carbon dioxide model. Let's get right to it. All right, mad scientists, here's what we're gonna need to make our very own carbon dioxide model. We're gonna need two paints, they can be any two colors, 3 styrofoam balls, 2 wooden skewers, somewhere to put your paints, I'll be using a paper plate, a pair of scissors, and a paintbrush. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by painting 2 of our styrofoam balls, one color. So these will be our oxygen molecules. And now our second one. All right, so we have 2 oxygen molecules. It's time for us to make our carbon. So I'm gonna clean off my brush real quick. Give me just a moment.
A few moments later.
Now that I have a clean brush, let's go ahead and use our green, or whatever second color you have, in order to make our carbon. All right, so now that we have each of our molecules painted, we'll go ahead and set these to the side to dry a little bit. And in the meantime, we can prepare our skewers. We'll go ahead and cut them in half. So before you do this, mad scientists, make sure that you have a parent or guardian do this for you, or you have their supervision, just like so. If you have little extra bits, you can just trim them off. All right, so now it's time to assemble our CO2 model. So here's what we're gonna do. In our center green ball, we're going to stick one skewer here, and one skewer here, just like so. This represents the bond that holds our 2 molecules or atoms together, like so. Awesome. And then do the same thing on the other side, just like so. With our model, we can see that we have 2 oxygen atoms and 1 carbon atom in order to make our CO2 molecule. Check that out. Pretty cool, wouldn't you say? And great decoration. Awesome. So now that we have a better idea of what CO2 looks like, let's do a couple of experiments. Let's get right to them. All right, mad scientists, to start off our experiments, let's take a look at some carbon dioxide. So, as we talked about earlier, we breathe in oxygen, but we let out carbon dioxide. And although we can't see the molecules up close, like we did with the model, we can see it fill up our balloon. So, let's grab a balloon and take a big deep breath in and out. And again. And one more time. Maybe one more, for good measure. Check that out, mad scientists. So, although we can't quite see, we know that because we breathe out carbon dioxide, we know that we filled our balloon with carbon dioxide. I'd still say that this is pretty cool and a great way to see the carbon dioxide that we breathe out. We breathe out a lot of carbon dioxide. Check that out. Alrighty, but let's do something even cooler. Let's get right to it. Alrighty, mad scientists, here's what we're gonna need to create exploding sandwich bags. So, we're gonna need some vinegar, some sandwich bags, some baking soda, some toilet paper, and we're gonna need a tablespoon. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by creating some packets. So, we're gonna grab 2 pieces of toilet paper, like so. And in each square, we're gonna drop about a tablespoon of baking soda. So here's our first one, right in the middle, just like that. Then we're just going to twist them up like so. So it should look like this. We have a little packet of baking soda. We'll do this twice. So there's our first one, and here's our second one. Create your second packet of baking soda. Now we can set these off to the side, and we'll grab our sandwich bag. So in our sandwich bag, we're gonna put 4 tablespoons of vinegar. 4. So now I'm gonna drop in 1 of my baking soda packets, and I'm gonna seal up my sandwich bag really quick. Check that out. Whoa. All right, so it's expanding, and there we go. Check that out. Whoa, so as we saw, the reaction between the vinegar and the baking soda created CO2, and this CO2 filled up our bag until it popped. Check that out. Pretty cool, wouldn't you say? In fact, let's do it one more time. Got our sandwich bag. And 4, just like that. Drop in our baking soda packet and seal it up really quick. And watch the reaction take place. Let's stand back, maybe. There we go. All right, that was pretty cool though. Although the reaction was a little delayed, it gave us a great opportunity to take a look at how much carbon dioxide can be released from our reaction. Pretty cool, huh? But we're not done just yet. We still have some more cool activities to do with carbon dioxide. So let's get right to them. All right, mad scientists, here's what you're gonna need in order to do this next activity. You're gonna need an empty water bottle that is dry, a balloon, some antacid tablets, a fork, a paper plate, and a disposable cup. We're also gonna need some water. So here's what we're gonna do. Start popping open our tablets and grabbing one. I'm gonna go ahead and crush it up. All right, so I'm gonna pour these tablet pieces into my disposable cup, and then we're gonna pour these pieces right into, now we're gonna add a little bit of water. We gotta do this quick. Add water, and then we're gonna throw our balloon right over the top. And wait, see it moving. As you can see, our balloon is filling itself with the carbon dioxide that's being produced from this reaction, a lot like the sandwich bag we saw earlier. Check that out. So, it's a pretty good way to see how carbon dioxide fills up balloons. We don't just have to use our breath to be able to do it. We can use other things like these sodium bicarbonate tablets. Pretty cool, huh? But we're not done just yet, so let's keep on going.